Hi, welcome. I'm Julie Torrens. I've got this big old pad from DCWV, which is called Tattered Times. This my sister gave me. She bought it on clearance years ago. I've had it for years, but the reason why I picked it today is it's one-sided. And can you see that this is shiny? Sometimes when you're trying to glue or paint on top of shiny, you have to be a little bit careful. So for this, I'm just using this. Whoops, I just flung something way out of reach. Okay. So I'm going to be using these as backing. And what I'm going to be making is some of these master boards. So I've got some food packaging, and I took and I sanded them to get the shine off so that they will hold glue and things like that just a little bit better. And we're going to be using these to make some master boards. So I'm just going to start out with one. Will we get through three? I don't know. But I've got some book page here that I'm reaching for to get us started. I have more handy. And we're just, let's just get started. Let's get started. Sorry about the messiness, but I've been busy and I've been working. So I've got my Uhu glue stick. This is a new one. This is my backup. So I've got this one that's got a Y on it, meaning yes, go for that one. Of course I didn't, but there we have it. And I just want to get this covered. So why am I making master boards? Because I got my glue book, because I need to make some tags. You know, the types of tags with the pointy kind of top and a hole in the top. I need some of those for a journal. I'm also in a group where we do swaps. And yes, this is going over the edge a little bit. That's fine. I'm going to trim it off because I don't want to wrap it around because I'm going to put that other backing on. But yeah, I want to be able to have some tags ready because I know that in the swap group that I'm in, that they at times do tag swaps, and I have none. What I had is used up. I've got 2 sheets of this here, so we can use that. So how are you? What's new? What's going on your desk? You can see what's going on my desk. What's going on your desk? I'm just covering this right now with book page, and I don't want it too busy. So I've got some dictionary page. This is from a recipe book, very, very old. So it was done with a old electric typewriter. If you see those in thrift stores, I see them often in thrift stores. Grab it if you like to do this kind of collage, because the font is just so beautiful. And I'm not wasting it. I'm not ruining it. I am giving it another life, because if it gets at the thrift store and it sits there for too long, out it goes into the landfill. So I am rescuing these things from the landfill is what I'm doing. I didn't grab any music note paper this time. I don't know why. Just didn't feel like it. I've got this nice corner. This is getting too sticky. I think it was sticky to begin with. Like I said, I've been busy. I hope you've been busy. This is what I just live for. I'm telling you the truth. I work my job. I love being a nurse, but I've been a nurse over 40 years. I'm 64 years old. I am so ready to retire for a lot of reasons. But it's not because I don't like nursing. It's a lot of it has to do with just that my body, after this many years, is just falling apart. And it's telling me, Julie, time to rest. And it is time to rest after this many years. And there's a lot of things we did as far as lifting and carting stuff around that you don't do anymore in nursing, because there's machines that you can use for lifting people, and we didn't have that. We lifted people with our, and there's still, don't get me wrong, there is still plenty of lifting to do, even with the helps. But yeah, my body has just said, it's enough. My doctor has said your body is saying it's just enough, but not enough to be on disability. And honestly, I don't know how anyone can afford to be on disability. I know that some of my viewers are on disability, and God bless you. But for me, I would have to wait maybe a year before I would get a decision. You do get the back money. Yeah, like I'm a real disability expert. I'm not. But just when I looked into it, the bottom line was I would have to be without work and without income for a year before it would all come to fruition. And I just don't have that kind of money. Plus, I am still able to do what I do. And what I do is taking care of intensive care children in their home, so that they don't have to be in a neonatal or in a intensive care in a hospital. Because let's face it, God love them, but their conditions are stable. They're not changing anymore. Or they just need to be kept stable, and they just need to grow. So, you know, it's a good thing. And like I say, I love my work. It's a ministry as much as a job. And really, that's what I tell people that are going to go into nursing. You've got to love the ministry as much as the work. And so I take care of one person at a time in their home, and that way the parents can get some rest, because they're doing the work 16 hours a day-ish. You know, and everyone's different. Every situation is different. You know that. So sometimes the insurance pays for more, sometimes the insurance pays for less, but we don't come cheap. And I don't know anyone who could afford skilled nursing. And, you know, these people, these children have trachs, they have tubes, they have IVs, they have ventilators, they have all kinds of stuff. So we are there to take care of them. Sometimes our children are just born a little early. Sometimes our children have been in tragic accidents, or maybe they've had a diagnosis that they need to recover from. So, like I say, every situation is different, but that's what I do. And I enjoy it very, very much. It's very rewarding. And, well, I'm just going to have to do it until I can honestly retire. But when I'm not doing my job, this is where I want to be. Of course, I need to take care of myself and keep up my home. But that's why I've downsized. Okay, we got one done. Let's do another. I've downsized so that I'm just reaching here. And again, sanded. But I'm hoping that YouTube can help me and my art. It's multifaceted. YouTube is just one of the parts. That with my art and with my YouTube channel, doing little tutorials and just sharing with you. Not everything's a tutorial. Sometimes we just chat, and do art together. What could be better? What could be better? I guess if you were right here with me, sharing this table, and we would be doing it together and having a wonderful visit. And it feels that way quite a bit to me. It really does. You guys have reached out and have been kind to me in so many ways. You know, people writing me, how can we help? And it's like, I'm good. You know, I'm good. It's just right now with YouTube, it's just a waiting game. I just have to be patient, and I am patient. I realize that I'm going to be doing this probably for more than a year, just for the sake of the pleasure of it. And it's relaxing. And if you've considered starting your own YouTube channel, let me know in the comments. And if there's anything I can do as far as sharing information or, you know, how I do things, please let me know in the comments. And if you don't want maybe to share this with the world in the comments, on my About page, which is if you click on the picture of my face, you know, it'll bring up my home page. And then there's a tab called About. There is my email. Now YouTube calls it, like, it says for business only. I don't have a choice with that. That's just the way YouTube has it. If I want my email up there, that's the way it's got to be. So, but it's not that way. You do not have to, looking for some different text. You do not have to just be writing me for business. And let's face it, if you're considering YouTube for yourself, that is a business. You sure have to treat it like one if you want to get anywhere with it. I'm seeing if I can reach one of my textbooks that I can tear out more text. Yes. Thanks for being patient. Index funds. Why? Because the chances of there being bad words in here are slim to none. And so that's why I picked this book. Got it from the library. Friends of the library. My library doesn't just have a specific day or month that they have Friends for the Library books out there. I'm just cutting off the margins, ripping off the margins. They have a little room, and it's all the time. So I can go in there and grab a book, and if it is a book that the library had in their shelves in circulation, and it's now not in circulation, well, at my library, I can get those books for $1/4, hardcover books. And again, the librarian told me that many of these books have not been checked out in 5 years or more. And so they go in the Friends of the Library, and if they've been there for a little while and no one takes them, into the trash. And I think they go into a recycle bin, but still, I'm giving them a new lease on life. So what's on your desk? What are you working on? It's enough about the good old Julie here. How about you guys? I'm going to repeat it because I am sincere. If you are considering starting a YouTube channel, let me know. To tell you the truth, I guess I'm going back to that subject. From what I'm reading and studying, I don't know how you feel, but I was feeling maybe it's the TikTok and the Facebook Reels and things like that are going to take over, and longer content is going to go by the wayside. No, it is the longer content and the things like podcasts that are taking off. Not everyone wants just a 30-second giggle. These podcasts and things. And so YouTube already has one of the best platforms for that. And so everyone's really excited. But when you look at where the growth is, yes, there is a lot of business in TikTok and these other short platforms, but it's believed that's going to run its course, and everything runs its course. But did you know? Oh, just tell me to shut up. I can't. Did you know that YouTube is like the second most used search engine? That when people are looking something up, it's YouTube, that people are looking up how to change the oil in their car, or how to, one of the big ones is how to put a nail in the wall. Unbelievable. But I'm so happy because this is where my trying to consider part of my future will lie. See, I used to teach classes out of my home, which was great until we all went into lockdown. And in the meantime, I moved. I could still have it in my house, but like where I live, I now have almost completely wall-to-wall carpeting. That's not conducive to teaching classes. And I just really don't have space to set up like a really big table. So this seems like a good way that I can share my knowledge with all of you. Knowledge. Probably more like experience. But hey, we're having fun, right? So let's just keep at it. Don't get discouraged. We can do it. Okay, we've just about got this one covered up. And then what I'll do is we'll just keep going with what we've got. And then if we have time to start a third one, we will. These are smaller than master boards that I've done in the past. I've often done them 12 by 12. But I really want these to have the weight. And when I do them 12 by 12, I'm usually just doing one side and then letting the other side be the back, which is the 12 by 12 that I picked out. And so it's kind of 2 layers instead of having this cardboard core. But when I think of tags, I just want them to be a little bit hardier. And to tell you the truth, the same with artist trading cards. I don't know, they feel better in your hand if they've got a little more oomph to them. All right, I'm going to set aside, but not too far, my book page. And let's get started on the next step of creating this. So, got some different things here. I don't always make my master boards the same. Aren't you glad, since you're here watching me? I'm just going to grab a paper towel. But I've got some spray inks. I've got some gesso. I've got some stencils. So see, a little bit different. Plus I have some stamps. But I'm going to start out with stencil. So, oh, that's the thing that flew. All right. Don't go anywhere. Just visit. You guys can get to know each other while I just reach. Because this really flew across the room. There we go. I wanted a stencil that had thinner lines and more area. Do you know what I mean? Compared to one like this, which has a lot more plastic. I've got that one. I want that one. So I'm going to just start with this one. Now, this was a stencil that I got on clearance, and it was in a home improvement area. Okay, using gesso. Anytime you're doing things with acrylics, give it a shake. You want to shake up the pigment in the binder. And then gesso also has like some crushed marble in it. I know different gessos have different formulas, but I like it because it dries a little bit opaque and a little bit transparent, so it's not going to obliterate the background. It'll also accept anything that I want to put on top of it, including glue, so that when I'm decorating. So a lot of reasons. All right, let's just be quiet, huh, Julie? Get some of this on. Pardon me. Well, this is very bouncy. There we go. Sometimes you don't even see the result of your stencil till you pick it up. This has moved so many times. All right, I don't know if you can really see that, but it's there. When we add other things, it'll show up more. And let's try some over here. So what's on your desk? What are you working on? How about the holidays? If you're going to be making holiday stuff, I would assume that you would need to be starting pretty soon here, huh? I'm going to make Christmas cards, but not that many. So I'm not feeling pressured yet. And hey, you know what? If I don't get to it, I'll just buy some, but I would rather make them. Okay, I realize that this is pretty hard to see. Do not despair, because as we add other things, they're going to sink in to the plain paper and they're going to be more resisted by the acrylic gesso. So it's going to show, don't worry. Okay, now I'm going to let this one dry. You're thinking dry for what? But if I tip it or tilt it, can you see maybe? Okay, let's get the other one and let's do the same. So if you are working on the holidays, let me know in the comments what you're working on. You're making like these types of tags. You can use them as your to and from tags. You can even use artist trading cards that way. Just punch a hole in the top, put on the back, to, from. Beautiful. Beautiful gift tag. What else? Wrapping paper. That's fun to make. That's a good jelly print project. Are you working with your jelly plate? I haven't had mine out for a while. Let me know in the comments if you're ready to do some more jelly printing, because I've pretty much used up all my jelly print papers, and I did get from the library some more Vogue magazines so I can do some more magazine transfers. Now I realize that you have to be careful with copyright, and I've looked into all that. I've talked about it in some of my other videos, but you can do it for your, for yourself, for your art journal. I just wouldn't put it up there for sale. Okay, and a little bit more. Gesso dries nice and fast too, compared to other acrylic products. I'm kind of caught here. There we go. I'm putting a little bit more on this one than the other one. I like variety, Maybe the other one will have more of some of the other things that I like to do in the backgrounds. But I think you'll be surprised at just what this can do. Because it's not only creating pattern, it's sealing up some of the paper, but not all the paper. So that's what I was saying. We're going to get some different effects. What kind of effects exactly? I don't know. I'm not sure, but something. Okay. That looks good to me. I'm going to set this aside and set this aside to dry. Let me pull up the other one and see how dry are we. Oh, very dry. Okay, let's set this one to the side. Now, I could go ahead and put the background on if I wanted it to dry more, but I don't think so. I'm gonna get some more paper here, get myself, because I'm gonna do some spraying. I'm gonna get some just for confidence. All right, so I picked out some colors. The first two colors I have, and I may honestly want to use this to rub and move around the spray inks. I've got some crushed grape. This looks awfully, oh, this is mica spray. Okay, well, it's not that I can't use it, but I'm going to need another color. They're all right here. I don't have to go anywhere. Here we go. This one's called Laid Back Lilac. Just as good. All right, so I'm going to spray some of this on, and let's see where we go with this. Okay, now I'm going to give it a rub. See the gesso? Isn't that cool? Let's do some of the, this one is Funky Fuchsia. And same paper towel. See the difference? You get some splatter and you get some of the texture from the gesso, right? Cool, huh? And then some of it is splattery and some of it is smooth. And I just like that. Like, look at this corner here, how nice that is. So I'm going to just, I can see where I've got some wet ink, move it around. Now, see that little piece of paper kind of came up? Don't worry about it. There, that's fine. All right, good, good. That looks good. Should I grab the other one? Yeah. We'll see how dry this one is now. Very dry. Okay, so I've got two other colors. I can still hit this with some of the mica. We can just, and it'll add some shimmer. Let's see if we can see any shimmer yet. It really shows up more after it's dry, but we're going to do some other bling. So I'm just going to set this one aside and let's bring up this one. So for this one, I've got some, this one is Faded Jeans. This is Distress Stain. And it came, I got it in a grab bag. And you know, if you see on Ranger where they have the mystery bags, I have always found them to be a great value, but I got several bottles of these stains in a dauber top. So I just got these 5 for $1 from the grocery store, and I just recanted them into a spray bottle. So let's give this one a little spray. And a white. Here comes the gesso. Great, great, great. Okay. And now I've got some green. I thought I would do blue and green. So I don't even know the name of this one, but I can tell you. It is Dirty Martini. And give this a, I'm wiping in a different direction. And see where the paper was not sealed, it really grips the ink. And then where the paper was sealed by the gesso, you get that different look. Isn't that cool? Don't you just love it? Sure. Okay, now let's just see if I can take and get a little of this off. And then when I go to clean, it will come off just a little bit easier for me. It's so pretty though, isn't it? Wowie. Okay. All right. Now, I think what I'm going to do next is I'm going to trim them up and put the backs on. So let's get some scissors. So are you saving your food packaging? Now, if it's waxy or if it is, if it's shiny, you can just take, and I just use a little brick that I get from, I think I got it from the grocery store, or I know they have them at the drugstore, one of these guys, and I just rub this all over, but I do it outside because it's dusty. it is definitely dusty. So I just get the shine off, and that way glues and paints and things are willing to grip it. And then the inside, sometimes the packaging itself, I've done some videos where I just use the packaging as my background. I've got some artist trading cards. I think I made artist trading cards and some journaling cards that way. Okay, this is still wet, but I don't feel like the wetness has completely gummed through. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this up. I'm done with this. I'm going to glue this up. Oh, had a thought. Always dangerous. I was going to put some metallic. I've got my metallic watercolors. Let's do that. Changing gears. No problem. All right, get a watercolor brush, a good size one. Here's a nice big one. Got some water here. Going into the gold. I'm gonna need another brush, any old kind of brush. Now, when you're using metallics, you have to work and to get that paint up. It's not like regular watercolors. And are we getting anything? No, needs more water. That's not surprising to me. I know you probably, well, I'm sure you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just rubbing my brush into the paint. And then let's see what we can do here. There we go. Still pretty fine. Needs more water. This is a thirsty brush. It's holding back. All right. We're getting some more this time. Can you see it? Yep. I can see it. I think this will look cool. Okay. And now I'm going to go into one of the shimmers. Now these, whoops, these have kind of a Aurora Borealis kind of a look where it's just a shimmery paint. But when it dries, it really packs a punch of shimmer. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this on. You can't see it now, but my experience has been once it's dry and I show you, you will be able to see it. So just loaded a little more on my brush. I mean, even I can barely see it. Okay. And watercolors are so friendly. They're so easy to get up. So I'm not worried about getting it here, there, and everywhere. All right, let's cut this one off. Do you like to make tags, journaling cards? Are you in any swaps? Do you like to do it? Facebook has a lot of different swap groups if you just do a search. And, you know, just join up. Do whatever they say. They usually have some questions that they want you to answer. Not that they're testing your knowledge. It just tells the group leaders if you are not a spammer. You know what I mean? So the questions are not difficult, but it does let them know that you're a human being ready to help or to be involved. And then just lurk. Just stay in the background and just see how the conversations go. See if there's people posting pictures of what they received in their swaps, or see what the rules are. You can, sometimes you can't really read the rules until once you're a member, but then read the rules and see what you think. Sometimes they're in a separate little file. If you can't find them, ask. Say, where do you guys have the rules? I wanna follow the group, you know. You're not there to be a vigilante. And if it just doesn't appeal, check out another one. And sometimes groups are specific for just artist trading cards or just tags or just greeting cards. And so, you know, pick one that suits you. All right, how we doing? I'm liking the gold real well. I'm going to stick some of the shimmer on here. And the shimmers are the same as the metallic. You got to work your brush into these pigments and mica to get anything up onto your brush. And that's just the nature of them. I don't care what brand you buy. I've tried many different brands, and when it comes to that, they're all the same. Now the results, once you get the pigments and the mica up into your brush, the results are not the same. So there's a lot of reviews. The Frugal Crafter, she has some great reviews. There's Nano Soup, it's called. She does it, but you know, just again, go to Google. Well, you can go to Google, but you can go to, maybe you prefer to read about it. Go to Google or Pinterest and look up reviews for metallic paints or shimmer paints. And you can get a lot of good reviews. Some of them are more expensive than others, but you get different results. Some of them are more expensive, but you get terrible results. So, you know, look them up. Okay, I think we're doing good. Okay, enough of that. I'm sure the tapping is just about driven you all up the wall. And I'm grabbing another paper towel so I can dry these brushes off a little bit. And then we will go on to the next step. Don't need these. Set this one aside and give it a wipe. We're done with the splashing. We're done with the inks. Mixed media. It's just like the name says. We're using a lot of mediums. All right. Now, were we just working on I think this is the one we were just working on. Let's see this one. Yeah, this one's more dry, but it's not completely dry. All right, I'm going to hit it with the heat gun, and we're going to be adding more. So this isn't going to take long, so I'm going to talk through. I am a new YouTube channel. For those of you who are returning, welcome. And for those of you who this is your first visit, welcome to my channel. I do mixed media art. I do journaling, art journaling, as well as making junk journals and making art journals. I do a variety, and just take a look at my playlists and see what you might like. I'm tickled that you're here. Okay, how are we doing for wetness? I think that gave us a good dry off. And we're going to grab that paper that we started back long ago. We can take off this manufacturing part. And we don't need that. And then I'm going to just put this. Now, I didn't know if I could get two, and these are not perfectly plumb or square. I wasn't sure if I could get two on one or not. So we want to get a good amount of glue stick, and then I'm probably going to put some of my art glitter glue, which is even stronger, and give it some extra oomph. They both dry pretty fast. And I am being a little heavy-handed with this, because I do not want it to separate if I can at all help it. Okay. I think we're good with that. Now I'm going to grab the art glitter glue, which is this one, and especially around the edges I want to go. art glitter glue is not as economical as the other glue, but it's worth it. I'm telling you, I've used glues for, over 20 years and never came up with one quite like this, and I just love it. All right, on it goes. I am leaving a bit of a margin that I'm going to cut off because, like I say, it is not plumb. It is not square. Let's just give this a good press down. And I still may have to tack down the edges. That's okay. Am I getting any on my hands? No. So it's dry. All right, I'm going to let this one rest. I'm going to grab the other one, though. I doubt it'll fit there, but let's just see. And this paper will not go to waste. No, this paper will not go to waste. I will still use for pockets and just for other things. So, back to the glue stick. Do you have a favorite glue stick? A lot of people told me that they liked the Oohoo glue. That's why I gave it a try. I used for a long time a different brand, and isn't it awful? I used it for years, and now I can hardly remember. Scotch, perhaps, but it was extra strong, and it was great. I used it for years, but then I had a couple of 3-4 tubes that were... I bought, I buy it by 12, 14, 24 at a time. They were so goopy and gloppy, and I thought, wow, did they change the formula? So when so many people were telling me how much they liked the Oohoo glue, I giving it a try, and so far, yeah, I like it. And then the art glitter glue, I found that watching the people that do the art journals, and they use it, and so I found some, and before I could use up one, I even purchased a refill because there's something about this glue. They will not ship it if there's any chance that it could freeze, because apparently that does change the makeup of it. And so where I live, there's more freeze than not. So I went ahead and got the refill, but I have used this for, 6 months, and I think it's about half gone, and you can see I don't spare it. If I need it, I use it. We're putting too much time and effort, even though I'm a use what you have kind of girl, and you don't see me with a lot of new products every week, but it's still my time, and I'm still giving these things away or selling them or whatever. I don't want things to fall apart. I don't want people to say, well, be careful with her because things just don't last. That's just a nightmare. All right, so let's get this trimmed up and see where we're at with this. And I did leave a margin around the edge, the top and the one side, because I really did want to cut it. I'm not really at a very handy angle. Let's go at it this way. I'm going to end up with such a rough edge. There we go. There we go. Just be patient, Julie. I do try to go a little bit faster than my normal snail pace because your time is precious too. I don't expect you to sit here and watch me do this over the course of time that it takes you to roll out, bake, and eat an apple pie. That's no good. All right, I want to trim this. I can still see some white. Now I'm going to ink up the edges, which will, if it's just not quite perfect, that hides a multitude of sins. But I do want it as close as I can, and I'm just giving it another press down. And there's the back. Doesn't that look pretty? Now, I am not going to be cutting and decorating the tags today. I just wanted to get these master boards done. So I wanted one more thing on these. I mean, I like them so far. I think they're great. I was thinking about either some of maybe these numbers and letters, but now I'm thinking maybe they're a little bit too big. And I have words under there. So maybe this stamp. How can I show you what it is? Well, it's numbers and it's words, and it's kind of like something you'd find in a bullet journal. And this is from Tim Holtz and Stampers Anonymous. I don't know if I have the packaging handy. I'll just make a quick look, but if I can't find it, forget it. Oh, I think I found it. Okay, so it's Stampers Anonymous. This is the one that I'm going to use, and it's number 057. All right, so let's just give it, and I'm going to use Vintage Photo. I don't want to use black. Now, this is archival. It's the Tim Holtz colors, but it's the Ranger archival ink. So if there's wet mediums that I'm going to use on top of this when I go to make my tags and things, this won't move with it. So I want to get where there's words and numbers. So I'm just going to press it up in there, and I'm not putting it on a stamping block because I don't want that much precision. It's not my goal. So I'm going to just put it here. You can see it. Yep, you can. It's subtle, but it's going to be good when, you know, as a background to these tags and things that I'm going to be making. So, yep, good. Now, I'm going to be cutting these out, so it's not going to be like all of these are showing in the same place. You know, it's just not going to be that way. All right, I think I'll use the other side, and I'm going to go into the black soot. I do want them facing in the same orientation, though. See? I think that looks good. I'm just going to put a little here. Some here. Maybe some here. And some here. Now, every card is not going to get some of this on it, but it's going to probably get a little, but not the same. Looks good? Thanks. All right. Let's bring up this one. It's glued on. Just close up the ink. No, you need to dry it out. Boy, can't you really see the shimmer on this? Ooh, timber. Knocking stuff down. You can really see the shimmer and shine on this. Isn't that pretty? And again, the more it dries, the more you're going to be able to see that. Because I can tell in my hand, it's not completely dry, not by a long shot, but it's dry enough to keep doing what we're doing. So in my next video, I think, yeah, probably in my next video, I will be decorating and cutting these out into their finished up shapes. But for now, we're just doing the master boards. Okay. Now, this one is already darker, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Ground Espresso. That is even a darker brown. Should I use a different one? I could use this one. This one's all really tight together numbers. Let's give that one a go. And I'm going to put it in the Ground Espresso, which is darker than the Vintage Photo. It's a brown to almost black. And let's just see what we get. Well, it kind of can compete. I think I'm going to keep using it. Pardon me that my voice is going. I'm going to go ahead but I'm going to use it where the gesso is, where I think it'll show up a little better. I mean, there's no harm in what I did, but I just think it will be a little more effective on top of the gesso. Yeah. Can you see that? Hope so. And do some right here. That one might have got a little smeared. I'm not worried. Good. Okay, I like that. I think I'm just going to leave that as it is. All right. So now when I do the decorating of the actual tags, I will probably, you know, that may be where I use something like this, where I can be more specific as to where it would go in the composition. But here are our two master boards. Looks great on the back. I hope that you found this helpful. I hope that you found it educational. Maybe you learned a little something. I don't know, but I hope so. Please leave me a comment and hit the like. And I would so much appreciate it if you would subscribe. I need subscribers desperately for my little channel. In the meantime, I'll be looking for you in another video. Bye.